It is time for What's Happening San Diego. I'm Laura Jane. I'm your hostess today, and I'm joined by a magnificent original San Diego sound, a band so cool that it will make you go home early from the party because you have to. It's XIV, and we're going to hear their first song before we get to meet Kelly and Nate and Brian and Shani from the band. But first song is called Breakdown. So let's break it down. Let's get into it. What's happening in San Diego? And I just saw the video you did for Breakdown. Wow, that is fancy. I have never seen the Kensington Club look fancier in my entire life.
Yeah, seriously, we made it look like Vegas.
Believe me, everybody that walked in that night was like, whoa, wait, what, where are we?
Yeah, it was gorgeous. The director, the actors, you all look great on stage. Gorgeous outfits. Your lips, Kelly. I couldn't stop loving your luscious lips.
That was the director Chad's obsession, apparently. I didn't realize it was that much of an obsession because when you're on the other side of the camera, you don't know what they're shooting at. I was a little surprised when the video came out. I'm all, whoa, y'all should have told me to wipe my teeth or something.
No, I didn't see any lipstick. It was beautiful.
I was like, wow, that's my face.
Yeah, we
Just
got so
lips.
lucky. Chad Boyer is an amazing director, and he basically gave us a $50,000 video for a tenth of the price. A lot of people just pitched in. You know, we didn't have a big budget, but we had this amazing opportunity. And so we took advantage.
Oh, all our people got down, yeah.
Yeah.
When I was helping Chad with the editing, he at one point told me we might have to rename the band Kelly and the Lips.
All I know is when we saw it in Laughlin at the
Film Festival.
film festival. That was the first time I'd ever seen it on a movie screen. Like, it was Rocky Horror Picture Show. It was just me and the lips. And I was like, oh my gosh, there's 11, 12, 13, 15 feet of lips here. I was, oh my God, my lips. It was cool.
Well, you have a very pretty mouth. So let's talk about that a little bit. You were at the Laughlin International Film Festival, and the movie that your song, Walking Too Fast, was in was called 66 and Nowhere, and it actually won the best soundtrack for the year for 2017. What was that like to be there?
That was exciting. It was an exciting trip. I don't know if many in our crowd had been to Laughlin or been to a film festival or had any sort of experience like that. It was kind of like that little piece of my own personal girl was like, oh my God, this is just not happening. But it was a huge honor because so many of these people we knew long before we even started this process, at least me personally, to be on that journey to say, hey, we started out as whoever we are in our day life and decided, let's do something different and cool. And let's get everyone we love and do it together. And I really do feel like that experience for me personally, and I hope it spreads to my bandmates, is why we do this.
Well, that was your connection, the person that did the film. Was it the director or the writer? Who was the...
Yeah, both, actually.
Okay.
Producer as well. Chad did a lot of stuff.
Eric,
Yeah, so Chad Boyer and Eric McClanahan have been friends of mine since I moved to San Diego back in 2006. And as much as I love them as friends, I had no idea how talented they really could be. So when I had the opportunity to help out in any way, I said yes. I'm lucky enough to have a cool band that says, let's see what they think about our music. And it was just, Chad just loves supporting local talent so much that he just ate up some of our stuff, and we got to meet some amazing people. And
to be with filmmakers, you know, artists, dreamers, like an entire hotel full of just creative people that are literally, they have their day jobs, they have all the other stuff too, but then they have this vision, this passion, and just to get to hear and see and experience and discuss all these different walks of life and stuff. So as musicians, we were actually kind of outsiders, which is odd, you know, in an art community. But there's a marriage there too that you need music in your film. So they were really receptive and they liked the music, and we had a really good time.
Well, also the festival actually had a theme of women in music, so it was actually perfect for us.
That was a super honor.
We got invited to perform the awards ceremony, which was amazing because the Lifetime Achievement Award for that year went to Penelope Spheris. She's the one that directed Wayne's World and the Bohemian Rhapsody video by Queen. Amazing person and artist, and we just seemed to fit so well.
Did you get to meet her?
Oh,
Yes.
yeah.
I
We
have
had
a
words in
picture.
the bathroom that was so cool. It was unbelievable.
Yeah.
She's so down to earth, rad. She's so cool.
But the moment when we felt like, wait, maybe we do actually belong here is when the film 66 and Nowhere won Best Soundtrack. Eric McClanahan invited us on stage to accept the award.
Oh, Eric.
Yeah.
Well
He's
done.
a lover.
Love that man.
We just
Excellent.
standing up there like, okay, look like you belong here. You know?
Yeah, we're like, what? Us? Why us? And he's like, because you're on the soundtrack. Oh, yeah, okay, yeah. That makes sense.
But we got great feedback from our performance at the festival and the song from actually an international crowd. They had quite a few. I was like, Laughlin?
So, did you only perform the song from the soundtrack, or did you
no.
play a bunch of songs?
Yeah, so we did that during the ceremony, and then after the ceremony got to play an hour set.
Oh, wow. How bitchin' is that? Entertain all those artists. All right, well, now I'm putting 66 and Nowhere on my must-see list. So, you said that Walking Too Fast that you used in the film was a really old song for you as a band. Like 2010 or something like that?
It actually belonged kind of to another side project that we fell into. We'd been XIV for I don't know how many years.
How many? How many?
So XIV started as a solo project for me.
Oh, okay.
I had a bunch of other bands I was playing with.
You are a multi-instrumentalist. Let's talk about that.
It's an addiction.
So, to start your own band by yourself makes sense because you play keyboards and you play trumpet and you play guitar and what else? I don't even know.
So my main thing was I love soundscapes. When I started discovering audio engineering and elements of electronic music, I was kind of opposed to it for a while. But then just seeing what I could do without having to need the London Symphony Orchestra, I started creating some of my own music. And it was a little more experimental. It didn't necessarily fit with the other bands I was playing in. And so I said, I got to call it something. And XIV is Roman numerals for 14. It's a number that's come up a lot in my life. And is the 14th letter in the alphabet. My favorite Beethoven sonata is the 14th. It goes on and on. But eventually, when Kelly and I started making music together, that was just the perfect vehicle. There was this huge library of songs. I guess it was about 10 years ago we started getting serious with it and recording our first album as a group, Ada. And then it just started expanding from there.
So when did you join the band, Shani?
So XIV was a band that I saw and I loved and I fell in love with the second I saw and heard them and I said, I want to do that. It took about 2 years of us circling each other's spheres that we finally were able to say, hey, we saw you perform, I saw you perform, let's do something together. And
Sweet.
yeah, and it was a great night. We just jammed out. And it just happened to be that another mutual friend of theirs recently come back into town by the name of Rafael Torres. And what we started making wasn't kind of sort of XIV, but not quite, you know? So we developed a side project together. And after a couple of years of doing that, we kind of sat down and was like, I miss XIV. And it was kind of during that weird transition where we decided to put the pause on Sunday Hustle and go back to kind of where we started together musically, that my friend Chad was making a movie and he loved the Sunday Hustle album and he really liked this particular song and can I put it on the soundtrack? So it kind of gave us a nice opportunity to play in both worlds at the same time because, yes, we had just also, as all of this was finally finalizing with the movie, finished our third album, which is my first with XIV, Iota. And so we also had this new music that we just had to play as well. So it kind of let us play in our little self-made ponds a little bit at the same time. So that's when I came around. It was like 2008, I guess.
2008 or 2009.
8 or 9, yeah.
Yeah, because then we did the Sunday Hustle album and all this time has passed. Wow.
And then when did Brian get on board?
So I first met XIV, I would say like 2005, 2006. A mutual friend of ours. And so they were chatting together and he mentions a backyard concert. I haven't met Kelly at this point, but Kelly's ears perk up and they get to talk to my friend Bill Patterson, educator, artist, author in his own right. And he and I got close doing poetry workshops for schools throughout the central and southern parts of San Diego. And when he has these backyard concerts, he features all of his student performers and student poets, in addition to friends of his who are musically involved and artistically involved. So I show up at this backyard concert, never having heard XIV, loving downtempo music, loving trip hop. And Bill invited me to perform, and he's like, yeah, there's this really cool band. You're going to like them a lot. You're going to like them a lot. And they get on stage. My jaw just drops. And like Shani's experience of them, I was just like, what? And it's local. Like, it's local. Had been listening to, like, Massive Attack, 07, Cinematic Orchestra, Morchiba. Been listening to all those bands. And this was a local version of that. And I just fell in love immediately. But as circumstances would have it, we connected that day, we chilled that day, we built that day, and then circumstances found us going in different directions. And then October 2014, I'm at a Halloween party, and I meet Shani. And we start going back and forth on music tip and loving music. And I'm like, oh my God, it's seldom do I meet someone who gets down on music the way I do. And she's like, yeah, I sing in this band. I was like, oh, word, that's what's up. You know, what's the name of the band? I would love to come and sing. She was like, XIV. And I was like, what? Because
I get a call at like 2 a.m. Kelly, Yeah, Shani, what's up? You okay? Yeah, I'm fine. You know this guy? Brian Babb. Brian, peace. Brian, peace. Peace be free. Brian, peace. I'm like, Brian, I don't know. I look over at Nate and I'm all, Nate, Shani's asking us if we know this guy, Brian Peace. Nate's all, Brian Peace! He jumps out of it, Brian Peace! Shani's all, oh my God, I just met him. This whole thing comes down, we decide we all gotta go meet up. Like, oh my gosh, we have to get together.
So we did run into each other also at Dr. No's Fantasy.
Oh, that's right.
We had performed for an infusion project thing, and that was really cool.
Dr. No's Fantasy?
This was built for you, girl.
Oh, you would love it. They had
so fun.
they had Bond girls serving drinks. They were
In
like
gold leather panties, spray painted gold from head to toe, with little guns and cigarette trays. Oh man, it was good.
It was amazing. That's
good.
that's my boy Sugar, who was doing the infusion project, and one of the events he had put on. This was back when it was Ruby Room, I think. Actually,
Yeah,
Okay.
Yeah, it was the yeah, at the time.
and we did that place up. We had old movies projecting. We had cabaret type stuff. I mean, it was.
Artists everywhere, painting and sculpting and drawing.
And that was actually funny because that was part of the connection with Shani as well.
Yeah, our first meeting
was where we
was
saw
that
her
night.
perform.
I
Burlesque.
performed. I was doing my burlesque. I was singing to backing tracks. And then I saw you guys.
And Brian was there.
And didn't even and I didn't even know Brian at the time.
No, I was just
like,
thinking
oh.
that. Yeah, didn't even
And
know.
the circles go
Our
around.
planets
right.
have been circling for a
Across.
long time. The alignment has finally come.
Yeah.
So is this the complete band then? I can't remember. You
No,
have
we
more,
have,
right?
Yeah, we have two other members currently. We've got Tony Sandoval on the bass. He's,
Okay.
pretty much one of the founding members. He's been with us.
Is that the guy that I saw?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay, great.
Yes. And then who you did not see is our new guitarist, Julio Estrada. He just actually joined in right kind of at the end of Iota. He's only, I think, on one song on the recording. I'm playing guitar on the other parts. But then it was great because I was able to just focus on keyboards, vocals, the sequencing, all that stuff, and let him go on the guitar because he's an excellent guitarist. So that's the full Monty now. And who knows who else will get thrown in there in the future.
It is sort of collective based, yeah.
So is this next song we're going to hear Swept Away on your new record?
Yes, it's on Iota.
So I was gifted this magnificent vinyl treasure today. Thank you very much, XIV.
Absolutely.
I do play vinyl every single day of my life, and it's a clear vinyl. It's so beautiful, and it comes with posters and lyrics, and the packaging is just so gorgeous. It sounds heavenly. So everybody needs to go out to your local record stores and purchase one, or you can get one from their website as well, right?
Yeah, absolutely. You can go to xivmusic.com. There's links to it. We were so excited with the way that album came out. Iota, I mean, I've been doing music for a long time, and this was the golden child. This was the thing I was most proud of. And I was so happy it involved so many new people. And so we said, we're going to do it right. We're going to do not just any vinyl, but we're going to do
the most beautiful vinyl in the world. It's so pretty.
Don't just do it, do the hell out of it.
Yeah.
I think that's an important rule, and we're starting to fall into that a little more.
Well, let's get Swept Away by Swept Away. Who is responsible for that song?
Well, Nate definitely came up with a lot of the musical portion of it, and it was a song that was early enough in our XIV play days where he used to just make me coffee in the morning and put headphones on me at the couch and be like, so, what do you think this song needs? And I'd be like, sip, sip. Ooh, it needs some trumpet right there, like doing a sweet little line, and somebody singing like, and Swept Away was one of the first ones where he had a lot of ideas for the track, and I was trying my best to write for it and just was getting stuck. And so it was actually one of the few songs where Nate and I actually really buddied up. I think we locked ourselves in the bedroom one day and nailed down what we thought we wanted to say, which I think is pretty poignant, even to this day, even though that was probably a while ago. I mean, some of the songs on this album are songs that we pieced together a while ago. We had bones, we had a few muscles, maybe a little fascia, but when Shani came in, when Brian came through, when we got together, that's when it became a full living, breathing thing. And Swept Away was one of those just old tracks that was like, this is good stuff. We can dress it up and take it out.
Absolutely. I mean, I have I have a vault of sketches. And while we were doing the other project, Sunday Hustle, for a while, that vault was getting really big. And so when we finally said, okay, it's time to do another XIV album, it took a lot of time because it was a lot of material and a lot of it was just sketches. And so we really got to say, all right, well, what do we want to do here? And what I really like about that track, that's one of the first ones where Kelly, Shani, and myself all had vocals on the same track.
Yeah, that sounds really beautiful together. And I love watching you perform together, too, because, you two ladies just feed off of each other, and the crowd is, like, energized by your dancing, and then they start dancing, and then pretty soon everyone's like, oh, I'm getting moist. What is happening?
I can't.
New
even-
tagline, I'm getting moist. XIV. I like that.
That's what it did for me.
That was going on down there.
I
gotta get in the audience.
It was a section that I was sitting in where literally people were pairing off. Like, they could only stand so much. And then they were like, gotta go home right now. I'm like, okay.
So that's what you mean about them leaving the party early. All right.
Yeah.
I like it.
And it wasn't because they weren't digging your music. It's just that your music was making them want to get swept away together on a king-size mattress.
Well, if we've done any service for the planet, that is one I will happily accept.
Yes. That's somebody's baby is going to be named XIV.
Middle name only. Middle name.
Middle name only.
Or born on October 14th.
There you go. Put 14 letters in their name or something.
Yeah, exactly.
So you mentioned that you've played at a festival and you've played at the Ken Club, obviously, and I can't remember the name of the club I saw you at.
Full Circle Saloon. That's actually a kind of a new venue.
It's a newer spot. It's in Santee, and it's one of those places where I kind of walked into a bar. I'm like, okay, let's see how this goes. They have a great sound system. We have never had a bad show
Yeah,
yet.
I really like their sound
Yeah.
system, too.
Yeah, it used to be the old Second Wind. I mean, it was known
Okay,
for
that's
being
what
the
it was called.
Yeah.
1980s, 1990s,
right.
East County hangout bar. A friend of ours, Michelle Bailey, and her husband ended up buying it and really turning it into one of those Cheers kind of places where it's like everybody knows your name, everybody's cool, they're all here to get on that dance floor and dance and drink and eat and have a good time. They always lay out food and they take care of their people. It's that kind of bar. So, of course, she offered it to us for the CD release. We played there again just recently with Nate's other two projects he's working on.
Yeah,
So
well,
he had
you were in every band that...
three-band
I told
show.
you it was an addiction.
And they were all so different. It was wonderful.
Yeah, so
was great.
it's a great space for us.
Now, for those of you who don't know, Nate is our editor for What's Happening in San Diego, and he does such a great job.
Oh, thank you, LJ.
You make me sound like a genius interviewer. I thank you very much. And as I've been learning this special skill set, it's nice to know that I got someone like you taking out my mistakes and keeping everyone to the best possible interview, because we can't use every single word that every single person says. Some of these interviews go a little longer than we think.
Sure. But I love the whole way Hapnyn has taken this podcast. I have a lot of freedom. We're not set to a certain amount of time. And I will tell you, Laura Jane, it is a pleasure editing every single one you do, because you make me laugh. You really develop rapport with all of the artists and all of the different people surrounding the art.
And we have such great music and comedy and events that go on in San Diego County. We're barely scratching the surface, with under 20 episodes so far. And I'm learning so much about people I had no idea.
Absolutely. And we've been here for a while. I'm a San Diego native. I've been doing music since they'd let me. And
they'd let you. Like anyone could stop you, lad. That couldn't do it. He's got a treasure chest and he's going to unpack it all.
But you're absolutely right. I found so many new artists where I went, how have I not even heard of these folks?
Yeah.
And it tells you something that we're ripe for something like Hapnyn to try to bring that together, because there is a huge potential for San Diego with the whole craft beer and the whole restaurant explosion. We've got so much quality here in so many aspects, but there's not a ton of connection. Actually, with the craft beers, they connect pretty well. There's a great community. I think we should do that with the rest of the arts.
Beer goes great with music.
Amen.
I agree.
So,
Well, that's one of the things that in the last few years, too, has been a new focus for us. And that's how Brian ended up getting rolled into our group so easily as well.
Oh, let's roll him in.
Is because there's all this collaborative, I am so down to collaborate with you energy in San Diego. I feel that is such a unique thing. We have other bands that when they play, they're like, get up here. We get together, we jam. I mean, one of our most favorite things to do is just, you're off. Let's get together tonight. Let's jam. Let's do stuff. And I mean, half of the stuff that we just jammed, if we recorded it, we could start a whole new San Diego band every week. These people are creative, talented. They come with heart. They come with imagination. They got skills. And they're just like, yeah, and there isn't that, oh, no, I play in this band. There isn't like a singular affiliation. It's just like, you're a musician, I'm a musician, let's do some music. And next thing you know, now we got an MC, and now we've got, I think on Ada, I MC'd a track, and that was special. I got some work to do on that. I was having like my little lady butterfly.
I thought it was pretty awesome.
But I still listen back to it and laugh, and I'm like, Brian needs to redo that track.
Well, it just brings in a whole nother dimension. Adding Brian into the picture, I always, the beats definitely have some of that hip hop element, but I rarely find an MC that just the lyrics are either not conscious enough or I guess just say a little too vanilla. And Brian was just that perfect balance. When I heard Peace Be Free as an MC, not just as a person, I went, that's the kind of thing we need. And I love that Brian's the one that's always inviting me to random little open mic jams or whatever else, because he is on the pulse of it. He lives and breathes the scene.
When it's articulated like that, music is a part of my life, and as such, you play vinyl every day. I try to find music every day. I try to discover music every day, in part because music is evocative force. It's a healing force. It's a communing force. It's so much, right, for so many different people and across so many different genres. And so from jump, this aspect of collaboration and the quality of vibration that comes with it is really reciprocitous. For me as an MC, raised in a tradition of, hip hop and jazz, to hear the sonics of XIV from way back when. I mean, pretty immediately. There was a track called Return to the Classics.
Oh, yeah.
On Ada,
That was the first song I ever heard them play. And it played for me like Herbie Hancock. And I was just like, it was so immediately relatable and just evocative. Like, it got me out of me. So when it came my way to contribute to Iota and contribute to the jam sessions, and then also to just contribute to the relationship of our kinship. I mean, it was an of course, it's my honor, it's my joy, and such a fitting fit, On the instrument, Nate sent me keys and a metronome, and I'm just like, what the fuck? That's all that it was. That's all that it was. That's all that it was, keys and a metronome, and I'm just like, God damn it, this shit is dope. And then I draft lyrics for it, get to a rehearsal, Kelly and Shani experience, you know, the sharing of what I was doing lyrically, and then they pick it up and give it that much more body and that much more life and that much more fun. But that's how every single collaboration has been with this crew. I mean, just so fittingly fit and just rich, hella rich, and inviting and warm, you know.
Definitely, your band is very inviting and warm. And the song you were talking about is called The Instrument. So let's listen to Brian's emceeing The Instrument.
You hear that? Yo, I signed on the X, took a IV inside me to find chi. I fly free, I try to be a key of life on the mic. Stevie Wonder when I write, I hear his melodies telling me, listen into your light. On late nights I lounge in a sound like this, treading water in the sky, I drown in the abyss. Down in sip after sip of that shine from the stars. Now I'm falling just like them, crawling on these bars. I spar with insight, debate with enlightenment, wrestle with realization. Inner self is who I'm fighting with, igniting fires within the flint of my pen. Burning breath in the wind, I begin to ascend. I'm harking Andre Ben, welcome to a Nathan's Den. There ain't no wrong notes when you become the instrument.
You've got to listen if you want to hear. There are no miracles if you don't trust the two.
I'm just an innocent sinner to experience beginner night. Nurse for your hurt, your soul's yurt in the winter. Then I enter into evening, believing in darkness. Siding with the moon amidst the shadows and heartless. I'm yours regardless in pleasure or pain. I'm staying in the mirror, atmosphere full of days that blaze in the moments with the tides of the ocean. My melon full of hella swelling waves of emotion. Notebook full of potion, ether and elixir. This here is craft brew that's mixed with malt liquor. Don't postpone joy, but damn, I really miss her. Our memories live in this suite with my swisher. I'm a port sitter, spitter from Dago to Detroit. I live in speakeasy with my vice and my voice. Said I'm a port sitter, spitter from Dago to Detroit. I live in speakeasy with my vice and my voice.
There ain't no sound that ain't been tried. No story ain't been lied. Just a little, but your truth will shine. And my heartbeat will keep the time.
What do you keep time with? I keep time with that do I do. I keep time with that beat it. I keep time with that heart, that sweetest taboo. I keep time with that sun. I keep time with that moon. I keep time with my man playing in tune. I keep time with this right here that's gone too soon. You hear that?
Well, I'm a big fan of your instrument. I mean, the instrument.
What just happened in here?
Jake just heating up the space like
So, which side is that track on?
So on the vinyl, it's actually the first track of side 2. This was a whole new experience for us doing an LP because there's things like time limitations.
Right.
And with an album that's 48 minutes on the CD and the digital versions, and then realizing, oh, that's too long for one LP. And so we actually had to move some stuff around. But we worked it out, and it's the first song on the B-side, which I like because Brian's MC work as Peace Be Free begins in the introduction, a short little intro called Iota on the first side. So he starts
each
side.
Yeah.
Each
Yeah,
side,
yeah, yeah.
yes, each side.
Cool. And did you have fun at the Northern Nights Music Fest?
That was a collaboration with a bunch of Northern California artists and musicians and dancers and saxophone and our monkey man. I'm sorry, I cannot find his
Uncle
name.
Wookie.
Uncle Wookie.
Wookie.
He's even
Yes,
on the
yeah.
album playing harmonica in the
featured.
open. Yeah.
He's playing on the
That was
opening
such a
track.
great
Yes.
collaboration. We got to play in our friend Mikey Way, his old movie theater. I mean, LJ, it was your kind of place, all the old everything, the old popcorn maker, the old seats. And we had this whole stage and this crazy old movie theater to work out our set and what it was going to be. And it was completely collaborative. And it was a little bit XIV and a little bit
Space jazz.
Space jazz. And then a little bit of, it was an adventure.
Now that
It
I
was an
think about
adventure.
it, we could probably fill an entire book with just that experience.
Truly.
From the RV ride up to doing some filming in the theater that Space Jazz had been working in with a 360-degree octaphonic sound system that he
Octaphonic
had
sound.
created. I mean, it was pretty bonkers. He even had emulators so he could make it when it's in stereo. Surround sound by changing some of the EQs and some of these kind of acoustic modulations.
He's a mad genius,
but
for
yeah,
sure, yeah.
the festival was insane. I mean, it was one of the biggest I've ever been to, and just a great vibe. It's in the forest
It's in the
in
redwoods
NorCal.
along the river. Yeah, it's just...
And Grizz was the headliner. Grizz is super fun. He does a lot of upbeat electronic stuff, but he plays live sax over it and that kind of stuff. So there were people
I've
that
heard
at
of
least,
Grizz.
Yeah, Grizz has some fun stuff.
All right, I forgot already what your website is. Remind me again so we can purchase all of your fantastic music and learn about your gigs and which part of the world you're taking over next.
Really simple. XIVmusic.com, just the letters X, I, and V. Music.
XIV Music, MUSIC.com.
You got
Okay,
it.
excellent, because I want to make sure. And then, so does that mean all your vinyl's going to be see-through?
Really excited to. I have to, because See-Through Records is the label that I'm starting. And the idea is I like the name meaning more than one thing. I want to help artists see through whatever obstacles are getting in the way of them taking their music farther. I want people to see...
We've been playing the mild ones. If you're already this lovey at this point, get
I
through
was
the
getting
loud
the
ones.
feels from your story of helping people see through obstacles. That's a good record executive decision there. That's a wonderful way to be. I like that you kick down boundaries as a band. You're not one particular genre. You're a meld of all different influences. You've got a meld of different instruments, different vocalists taking turns, and rap, which you don't get in a lot of that kind of chill trip-hop type music. And I'm excited to see you live again. I will be watching your website. Oh, do you have a Facebook as well? You do, don't you?
It's XIV Band.
Okay.
Facebook.com.
On Facebook. And are you on the Twitter or the Instagram or any of those
Absolutely.
other
Those
wonderful
two,
platforms?
Twitter and Instagram are XIV Music SD.
All right. Well, thank you so much for joining us at Thomas Yearsley's Thunderbird Analog Recording Studio. It has been a pleasure to have you back in the studio again, you two, and to introduce you to this place. And
Love this place.
And you can keep abreast of all the things that every band that comes into these walls is doing at hapnyn.com. That's www.hapnyn.com. And you can hear every Sunday a thrilling new episode of What's Happening in San Diego, along with me and the rest of San Diego. All right, well, best of luck to y'all.
Thanks, LJ.
Thank you for having us.